Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. Let's do the whole darn weekend. Saturday is May the 8th. It's National Coconut Cream Pie Day. Ooh, that sounds good.
Yum.
National Have a Coke Day. A lot of folks will do that. National Student Nurse Day.
Not as many as a year ago.
Yeah, probably not. National Birth Mothers Day, National Babysitters Day, National Dog Moms Day, National Train Day, National Archery Day, National Miniature Golf Day, National Cornelia de Lange Syndrome Awareness Day. I don't know what that is.
I
have
have
to check into
no
that.
clue what that is.
Oh, hey, I like this one. Stamp Out Hunger Day is going on. And then Sunday, National Lost Sock Memorial Day, National Moscato Day, for those of you who like to celebrate, National Butterscotch Brownie Day, National Sleepover Day, and there's something else. What am I forgetting? Mother's Day.
Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Heidi.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day to all of our mothers out there. Our guest this weekend, he is not a mother, but he is Mark Sullivan, best-selling author. He's got a new book. He worked with James Patterson on a series. He's got a ton of books out, and his latest is out now. It's called The Last Green Valley. We'll chat with Mr. Mark Sullivan coming up in a bit.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Now, surveys and studies and such brought to you by bettercreditcards.com. A new study finds too much salt disrupts the body's energy production and alters immune cells. They say even just a single slice of pizza can alter the cells.
Really?
So salt can make you not immune to things that you would be immune to if you didn't have salt, which is too bad because guess what? I love
We eat
salt.
quite a bit of, I wouldn't say we go overboard with salt.
I do. While Americans may take things like working toilets for granted today, a new study finds unsanitary conditions were literally everywhere during life in the 1800s. Do you think? Researchers from Dartmouth College say fecal samples from back in the day reveal even America's upper class, like the rich, suffered from intestinal parasites during the era. Where are they finding samples
Exactly. That's what I was just going to ask. Where are they coming
I don't know.
upon stool samples from that long ago?
And wherever you're finding those, stay away from those places. Bad idea. That is surveys and studies and such, brought to you by bettercreditcards.com.
Do you have a credit card? We'd like to help you get a better credit card. If you don't have any credit cards, we'd like to help you too. At bettercreditcards.com, we have credit cards that offer different things for different people. Some cards offer points. Some cards are designed to help you build your credit. BetterCreditCards.com wants to help you get a better credit card, no matter what you're looking for. See if we can help you find a better credit card at BetterCreditCards.com. That's BetterCreditCards.com.
This is Your Brain on Drugs, brought to you by timeforrehab.com. She may be getting a little time out. A kindergarten teacher in Virginia arrested while her students were at recess. Substance suspected to be cocaine was in her desk. 46-year-old Sybil Billy, Chesterfield County, taken into custody. Turns out the administrator contacted a school resource officer about a possible drug issue. They found out whatever it was. It appeared to be cocaine. They found it in the desk.
Oh, my God.
Students were at recess. She was taken into custody, tactfully, booked on felony possession of cocaine, held without bond until her court date, which is June 2nd. One of the student's parents said she had a conversation with her daughter about how sometimes adults make mistakes. Sometimes adult makes mistakes that are bigger. We just, don't get to go to timeout for those. Long timeout in prison. They say other than that, she was a great teacher.
That's nice.
Don't make those bad decisions.
Always look on the bright side.
Yeah, that's what happens when your brain is on drugs.
John and Heidi.
Now, big screen, little screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com. Project Veritas is now suing CNN over defamation. CNN has been sued a lot.
Oh, yes.
Their attorney
lately
has been quite busy, I'm sure. Filmmaker Chloe Zhao's history-making sweep at the Oscars was almost entirely censored in China amid accusations that she previously insulted her homeland by saying there were, quote, lies everywhere in China, end quote. Her film, Nomadland, is only the second film directed by a woman to take home honors for Best Picture. And again, a lot of folks super happy for her, but
Right.
China, again, they
Not so happy.
censored almost everything that she said because they're like, nope, we don't even know her anymore. And one last story here, Universal
dead to us.
is producing a Rock'em Sock'em Robot movie starring Vin
heard
Diesel.
about that.
Did we talk about this? I couldn't remember if we did or
Because
not.
I was like, they're running out of ideas.
I'm not sure what the movie's going to be, but you know what? It's going to probably do well. Big Screen, Little Screen, brought to you by ChannelSurferTV.com.
At WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, we help you get ready for all the fun holidays throughout the year with fun, silly, and just plain weird gift ideas for your friends. If you have a friend who has a bizarre sense of humor, we've got a gift for them. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com posts a link to something that will make you smile each and every day. Whether you buy these weird gifts or not, it's worth checking out just for a smile. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now your scoop of the day comes your way, courtesy of RadioSavings.com. Pfizer has reportedly made $3.5 billion with a B on their COVID-19 vaccine in just the first quarter of 2021.
I'm sure they have.
So that's, Pfizer. Their profits are going up like I can't think of any good example I could use for Pfizer, but we're going to move on. I can think of things, but I'm not going to say them. The British Royal Marines are testing jet suits that would help them board enemy boats in the middle of the ocean. What?
I saw this. I saw
We're
this video. It's so cool.
We're living in the future, man. That's like Rocket Man is coming to life.
But I would think it would be very easy
Iron
to get
Man.
shot down.
Yeah, maybe. I don't
But-
know. Yeah, it's like Iron Man.
They are
Like a
pretty
real-life
cool, but
version
it
of
does seem like all they would have to do is just kind of
I don't know.
shoot at you. And
Well, there's probably some metal plating or something. I'm not sure.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure they would have thought of that. I don't know. A former Massachusetts pizza shop owner is accused of using illegally obtained federal COVID funds to buy an alpaca farm. This really seems
Who doesn't
weird.
want an alpaca farm?
The whole story seems weird. 57-year-old Dana McIntyre owned a place called Rasta Pasta Pizzeria in Massachusetts. Got $600,000 in loan money, allegedly by lying about the number of employees and by falsifying official tax forms. So, yeah, that's not good. He's probably not going to get to enjoy these alpacas. Just
Probably
saying.
not. That's unfortunate.
You better alpaca his bags.
Now those
He's gonna go to
alpacas
jail.
are going to be homeless.
I'm sure somebody will take care of them. They'll find a place for him. Do I have time for one more? I do. Just this one. Just this one. A New Jersey Christian man reportedly spent years pretending to be a rabbi. He was not a rabbi at all.
Oh,
I don't know exactly what was going on there.
that's
It
interesting.
is very interesting. I shouldn't laugh because it's not a good thing to do. It's a very bad thing to do, but it just seems quite odd. Very odd. Thanks for listening to your Scoop of the Day. Comes your way courtesy of RadioSavings.com.
Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. At InsuranceChicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and free to find out if we can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, I can't guarantee that, but I can assure you we'd love to help at InsuranceChicken.com. We want to help you peck out great deals on insurance. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Thank you for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Our guest today is author Mark Sullivan. He's a #1 New York Times best-selling author with the Private series that he had written with James Patterson. He's got a bunch of really cool books. One that just came out not too long ago, Beneath a Scarlet Sky, which is based on an untold true story from World War II. And many people were saying, how are you going to follow that up? And Mark, I think you've done it because you've got The Last Green Valley, and it's just came out, but people are absolutely loving this book. Tell us a little bit about it.
So it's another untold story of World War II, and it's based on this family of refugees, a real family, the Martells. It's the spring of 1944 in Ukraine. They're in a horse-drawn covered wagon trying to outrun the Soviet Red Army while under the protection of the Nazi SS officers who participated in the Holocaust.
Wow.
It is one of the craziest stories I've ever heard. Harrowing, brutal at times, morally complex, but ultimately triumphant. And you go along for the ride as the Martells try to run west. They're with the Germans, but their whole goal is to get 3 of them and to go all the way to the Western lines so they can make their way to freedom. And what happens along the way is one of the more remarkable stories I've ever heard, and it's based on a true story.
And this true story is told in such a way that people feel like they're sitting right there.
They do. That's exactly what I was trying to do. I want the reader to take the Martells' journey right with them. So they're there every step of the way, and they understand just what one family will do when in search of freedom.
Now, your book, Beneath the Scarlet Sky, is becoming a 7-part series. Would you like to see something like that, or maybe a movie made from the Last Green Valley as well?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I want people to understand just what a family is capable of when they have a dream in their heart. And I think bringing that to the screen would be remarkable, especially this idea that they carry with them that they're going someday to live in a beautiful green valley, which is exactly what happens. They live here in the same valley that I do in Montana, southwest Montana, and they're incredibly successful and wonderful family.
So you've done a bunch of novels, 18 novels, but recently, Beneath the Scarlet Sky, an untold true story, has done well. Now, The Last Green Valley, another untold true story from World War II, has done well. Do you have more untold true stories, or where do you go next?
I have another story. I'm already working on it. I'm going to Africa to work on it next month. I'm very excited about it. It's not a World War II story, but it is based on a true story.
And how do these stories find you, or do you find them? How does that typically happen?
Well, they seem to come to me. A lot of people said I would never find another story like Beneath the Scarlet Sky, but I believed I would. And sure enough, all these stories started coming out of the woodwork, people writing to me about their grandfather or their aunt or uncle, and I realized I had to have a filter. And I went back and thought about Beneath, and I realized that the story was inherently moving, healing, inspiring, and even transforming to some readers. And I said, that's what I'm looking for. And I wasn't hearing it until I heard the Martell story. And even that was a fluke. I was at the Noontime Rotary in Bozeman, Montana, talking about Beneath the Scarlet Sky, and a retired dentist comes up to me and says, have you heard the story of the Martells and how they came to America? And I said, no. And he said, you really need to hear it. And so I put Bill Martell's address in my nav a couple days later, and it's like 2 miles from my house. And then tells me to take a left into this older neighborhood, and I get this weird feeling. Can't figure out why until I get to Bill's driveway. And then I realize that I can't be 200 yards from where I first heard the story of Beneath the Scarlet Sky.
Oh, wow.
So I go in, and he starts telling me this story, and I was just blown away. And I'm still blown away by the story. It's extraordinary.
That is fantastic. We appreciate your time today. Now, I know in addition to the 2 books we talked about, you got many others out there, 18 different novels, #1 New York Times bestselling author, had a chance to work with James Patterson. There's so many things that we could have talked about we didn't have time to get to, but I really do appreciate you taking the time to visit with us about this. And I want to make sure we say thank you for writing these stories, because pretty soon, if they're not written down, these stories will be lost to time. So thank you very much for encapsulating these and helping to keep these stories alive forever.
Well, thank you, John, for having me and helping to spread the word.
Absolutely. Again, our guest today has been Mark Sullivan. His newest book, The Last Green Valley, I've got a link to it in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com.
Addiction. It's not a pretty thing. Addiction can lead to many problems in your life. Addiction can drive away those who love you the most. And addiction can lead to the loss of jobs, relationships, and even your life. Don't let addiction tear your life apart anymore. Get the help you need to defeat addiction and put the pieces back together in your life. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. They want to help. Timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Children's medicine once contained morphine. If you're a baby in the middle of the 1800s and you cried a little bit while you're teething or whatever, your parents might give you Mrs. Winslow's soothing syrup. This medicine, I'm using air quotes there, claimed that it soothed the child, softened gums, and allay all pain.
I bet it did.
Did a lot of stuff because in the concoction there were many things, but one of them was morphine. So there you go. It's probably a good thing.
But it's no different than rubbing whiskey on it, which is what My family did.
Most people don't do that either, just so you know. I'm just saying, just because they did that to you doesn't mean it's normal. That is today's fun fact. Now you know. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
Do you have a credit card? We'd like to help you get a better credit card. If you don't have any credit cards, we'd like to help you too. At bettercreditcards.com, we have credit cards that offer different things for different people. Some cards offer points. Some cards are designed to help you build your credit. Bettercreditcards.com wants to help you get a better credit card, no matter what you're looking for. See if we can help you find a better credit card at bettercreditcards.com. That's bettercreditcards.com.
Now, RadioTravelGroup.com presents a news headline from somewhere in this world. Dateline China. A massive Chinese rocket is expected to make an uncontrolled re-entry to Earth this week.
Yikes.
Experts say they have no clue exactly where the remnants will land. We're hoping not on our house.
Right.
I wonder, we should call our insurance agent and ask him, are we covered in case
Covered
it hits
for
us?
rockets that are re-entering the
Yeah.
atmosphere.
Does our
You
cover-
know, I think most of it though kind of breaks up as it enters the
but
atmosphere.
It's big.
So
It's very big, and it's not going to all break up. There's going to be some stuff that lands. So I don't know. I think whenever that, I'm going to keep my eyes peeled to see when that's supposed to happen, and I'm going to
I think
just
I'll stay inside.
go to the basement or something. Thanks for listening to a news headline from somewhere in this world.
At WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com, we help you get ready for all the fun holidays throughout the year with fun, silly, and just plain weird gift ideas for your friends. If you have a friend who has a bizarre sense of humor, we've got a gift for them. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com posts a link to something that will make you smile each and every day. Whether you buy these weird gifts or not, it's worth checking out just for a smile. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Now, some weird news brought to you by WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. A man was arrested for allegedly buying a Dodge Durango using somebody else's identity, then calling 911 to falsely report the vehicle had been stolen. Very confusing. 35-year-old Dustin Fell, charged with theft between $10,000 and $100,000, false alarm or complaint to 911, obstructing identification, resisting a peace officer. All of this from a criminal
it's a
complaint.
busy night.
Yeah. He called at 2 a.m., April 21st, with the purpose of making a false report when he reported his vehicle stolen under a false name. Officers responded, and it turned into quite the thing because they gave him a fake name. They wanted fingerprints for more identification. He said a couple of words that I can't say on the radio. Anyway, they learned through their investigation that he was not who he said he was. Anyway, got himself in a whole mess of trouble. What a bizarre story. It's today's weird news.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh, brought to you by RadioSavings.com. Wisconsin authorities say a standoff ended after a man who threatened to shoot police climbed into a ceiling, then fell through the ceiling, and then was arrested. So this happened at 4 p.m., 911 call. They said somebody's acting strange and paranoid. So they get to the home. They find a 35-year-old man who told law enforcement that he had a gun and I would shoot you. And he also said he had an explosive device in the house. After 30 minutes of negotiations, the man exited the home with the device he claimed was an explosive, and he said he would activate it. At that point, homes in the area were all evacuated. Law enforcement agencies surrounded the home. Several hours after a gas was used to force the man out, they entered the residence, found him in the ceiling. That's when he crashed through the ceiling and was taken into custody.
Because they have a little vacation.
The search for the explosive found nothing, so there was no explosive. What did he think?
That doesn't matter.
No, I understand.
Yeah, I mean,
No,
he's still...
But what did he think was going to happen?
Right.
That is not going to end well, ever. Never does, ever. It's today's moment of duh.
Early to bed, early to rise makes you healthy, wealthy, and wise. This is a great quote from Benjamin Franklin. At InsuranceChicken.com, we know a thing or two about great quotes. We help people get great insurance quotes every day. It's super simple and free to find out if we can make you healthy, wealthy, and wise. Okay, I can't guarantee that, but I can assure you we'd love to help at InsuranceChicken.com. We want to help you pack out great deals on insurance. That's InsuranceChicken.com.
Time now for Is It a Golf Course or Is It a Rehab Center? Brought to you by TimeForRehab.com. Heidi, tell me, Pacific Ridge, Jefferson, Oregon, is it a golf course or is it a easy for me to say, or is it a rehab center?
Pacific Ridge,
Pacific
I
Ridge.
will say that's a golf course.
Doggone it, I saw you walking right into that sand trap. It is a rehab center.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, that does sound like a good name for a golf course. Matter of fact, you want to open a golf course?
No.
Okay, just checking. That is how we play. Is it a golf course or is it a rehab center? Brought to you by timeforrehab.com.
John and Heidi.
This portion of the John and Heidi Show is brought to you by the John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying the John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
We always like to wrap things up around here with good news, and I think this is good news. It comes your way, courtesy of bettercreditcards.com. Take a listen to this. I think this is a really interesting idea right here. Middle school students make classmates' dream come true during recess. So this is just a really neat story from Detroit.
Okay.
Students were playing tag football when they give the ball to a student with an electric wheelchair and allow him to roll in for a touchdown.
Oh, that's so sweet. I love these kind of stories.
Sometimes people think I'm crazy for teaching middle school, and then sometimes this happens at recess, is what she captioned the video. And then there's a video that I can't even describe it on the radio without choking up a little bit, because it is such a great thing. And to just see how happy this kid is, because this is not something this kid typically gets to do.
Right.
This teacher is a 6th grade teacher at Detroit Lakes Middle School, and she said her students treat Kale Hannah with kindness and compassion every single day. She says it's a weird age, and I think we sometimes underestimate our own kids. The video, 100% kid orchestrated. They said this was not something that we set up. This is something
said to do.
It was them being them.
That's
they treat
great.
this kid like this every day. Kale has cerebral palsy, but he always dreamed of being a football player. Actually got to make that dream become a reality, even if it was just for a little bit. After he told some friends about his dream, they said, you know what, we're going to make that happen. And this video is them making that happen. And every kid in this video looks like they're having the time of their life. And I think more kids need to be out playing and doing what these kids are doing.
I agree.
Instead of, video games and, being on social media and everywhere else.
At the risk of sounding old and preachy.
Back in my day.
We didn't have video games.
I just love this story, and I've got a link to it. It's in the show notes for today at johnandheidishow.com. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show this weekend.